Las Vegas, baby. What's up,
What's
homie?
up? What's up, boys?
Trysta,
Where's Kenny?
Krick.
He's taking a sabbatical?
Yeah, we're missing Kenny today, man, but he should be
Am I
back
too?
with us.
Is it too dark in here? Because it's kind of like in the sports book. I'm trying to find. This is probably better.
Where where are you? Are you
I'm
are
in the.
you
I'm at Mandalay
holding
Bay.
are you on like a selfie stick, or are you just holding your
No, no, you know it's cell phone
oh
Trysta.
oh
Basically, I'm trying to.
you must look crazy to passerbys. Like,
I don't
no,
care.
this is a whole vibe. Like, I love all of this. I love the outfit. I love the big
Thank you.
sweater. That's fire. You look fire. Vegas Trista is the truth. I just need you to land the Miley Cyrus dress, and we'll
I
be
need it. Both of them.
the Miley Cyrus dress, which is clearly a tribute to Tina Turner. I need that.
Like, could you imagine first round of the playoffs, and I just show up with you guys, arm in arm, lots of bling with that Miley Cyrus dress. How the haters will lose their damn minds.
Oh, they'd lose it. Yeah. You gotta
Just
you gotta do the
lotioned up.
you gotta do the 80s.
I
You gotta
meant
do the
me. I didn't mean
no, I
anybody.
got you. No, I got you. You gotta do the 80s hairstyle too. You gotta
Oh
do
yeah,
the thing that Miley did. Yeah, she was killing it at the Grammys. I was all for it.
yeah, she's great. I don't know how Taylor Swift wins album of the year when her album came out 2 years ago. Didn't it come out in
I don't
2022?
It could have come out if it and I don't know when it came out. If it came out at the end of 2022, that could be how. Because SZA technically came out at the end of 2022.
I see.
SZA came
SZA
out in
gets a
December.
pass. SZA gets a
SZA came
pass.
out in December, and I thought SOS was gonna win. That's the album that I thought was gonna win.
I mean, you knew it wasn't because it was going up against Taylor, and there's a lot at play there. I mean, maybe she doesn't win it if Taylor's not in like charge of the universe right now.
She is, yes.
It's interesting, really quick on Taylor. So my friend said today he took a political survey, like he gets paid to take these like surveys, and it was a right wing political survey on whether if Taylor Swift decided to endorse and get girls to vote, whether they think she would have them vote Democrat or Republican, and whether they would actually do what she said. So the right wing is terrified of the power of T Swift. That's
As
just
they
I thought
should
it was
be,
interesting. Yeah, they should
as
be.
they should be, because she could.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, yeah. She
and
could
that's not.
embolden and mobilize
Yeah,
millions.
I want to be clear. That's not the best thing. Like, I hate that about like everything is we rely on these endorsements from people who we don't know what they understand about politics at all. But that's just kind of the way we
Where
are.
is Jaw? How can he make sense of this? No? Don't remember that?
God.
Okay. Everybody's
You,
aware of what I was doing, right? I don't know.
well, we'll find out here shortly in the chatty house. We'll find out here
Okay.
shortly. How's Vegas so far? How long? Like, when did you get there? Were you
Got in
there for
on
the festivities last night?
got in on Sunday. No, we did the show from Mandalay Bay. We're in the BetMGM Sportsbook poker room in the Mandalay Bay. So it's the best MGM Sportsbook on the strip, which is dope. The setting, as you guys can see, this is where the backdrop of our show is. A little empty right this second, but it'll fill up. And then we'll do the show from 4 to 8 your time, our time, and that is Monday through Friday. So I didn't do the media day,
Okay. Okay. That's
although I would have loved to. Would have loved that.
Would you have asked a serious question or a stupid question? Or no?
Stupid
Oh,
question. Yeah, I remember when I one of my favorite things I did covering the Super Bowl was the Minneapolis Super Bowl. It was what was that? That was Philly. That was Eagles Patriots, and I told them all. I was like, I asked a bunch of like set up serious questions, like really like, you know, X's and O's, da da. And I was like, yeah, finally, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the recent reports that there's some malfunctions with the arena. There's going to be a possibility, a strong likelihood that you're going to have to play the Super Bowl with the roof open. It's supposed to be negative 16 degrees on Sunday. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I made it up.
mm-hmm.
And And like I remember Kyle Van Noy was like, "Oh no, like that's just not gonna work. Like they're gonna have to fix that." No. And some other ones were like, "Oh, it's cool. We play in cold weather in Foxborough all the time." Blah blah blah. And then I asked Jason Kelsey. I asked probably 30 players. That was my one mission during the media availability, was to get everyone to respond. And then I was like, they gave me some BS answer, and at the end I was like, I'm just kidding. And they're like, thank God. I didn't want my family to go through that. I didn't want to go through it. It was great. If you have a chance, Google it.
Are you leaning in any direction for Sunday?
Oh, I thought, yeah, I am. Chiefs. I've taken Chiefs money line. I've taken Chiefs -7. Chiefs -7 is actually plus 320, depending on the book that you go to. So I did that. That was one of my very first bets. I think there's just no scenario to me where Mahomes doesn't win, unless there's a defensive touchdown for the Niners. And I don't think that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But Mahomes we got a Cowboy fan with a Husky walking through the sports book right now. That is incredible. Anyway.
Is there a way we could see it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because this is the beauty of you being so mobile today, is we could just take a tour around the Mandalay Bay. We could go see Michael Jackson. Well, yeah.
Y'all thought I was playing.
No,
y'all thought I was playing.
Yeah, no, it's a
what a fit. Thing. Just a tremendous fit. I'm on with 1320 ESPN right now. Yeah. He's got a harness. That's a real.
Oh, he's got a cowboy harness. Yes. Oh, that is a real. Okay.
Yeah, it's a real one.
All right.
That's a real one.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
That's what I'm talking about.
See, but you're at Mandalay Bay. You should go see the Michael Jackson show while you're there.
I saw Bruno last night.
For real?
Yeah, saw Bruno. Got no plug. Just went on StubHub, but got 11th row seats for that boy. Me and the crew. My co-host, a good friend from DC, came out. She's walking Emma. God bless her heart. Mm-hmm. And we saw Bruno. He took our phones. So we had to watch with, like, you know how they do at the comedy show, and they close it down and magnetize it or whatever, so that we could just watch him. He came on no opening act. Came on at 9:01. Show started at 9. He came on at 9:01, 24 karat, and then shut it all the way down, 11 on the dot, the encore, Uptown Funk. And he did incredible. And the way that he, got through different outfit changes and everything is he had his band, and the band was awesome. They all had solos. So they all had these huge orchestral type vibes. There was like a battle of the saxophone versus the electric guitar. They did like Willy Wonka. It was like really big. And another guy did Mozart on the keys. And so he kind of gave them a moment to shine while he was like cooling off. He got on the keys himself and played all of the old songs that he's written. And it was like a game called like, do you remember this song? And he was like, yeah, there's this one song I remember writing. It was just passionate, romantic. And he's like kind of joking around, like gaffing, like, tell me, what's the passionate song? We want to know. I like passion. And it was like, bah, 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 bah. You see you traveling around down with, and you're like, oh, this guy's a clown. This guy's an absolute clown. So it was an amazing show.
That's awesome.
He did he played multiple instruments. I've seen him once before, but it was worth every penny.
Yeah, I'd love to see him again. I saw him at the Gold. I'd really like to see Silk Sonic. That's who I'd like to see. I'd like to see them together. That's awesome, though. I didn't realize Bruno was still there. That's fire. I'm jealous.
He's here. I think 3 shows this week. So yeah, it'll be dope.
And them residencies who landed that Super Bowl weekend and the weekend before. Hey, salute. Y'all did that. Yeah, y'all did that. All right, so you're leaning towards the Chiefs. Okay.
Not lean. I've done it. There's no lean. It is.
You're all in. You're all in on the Chiefs.
Chiefs. Okay. -7 has been stamped. Been stamped. There is no changing my mind.
Okay.
I don't see the problem for me that I can't wrap my head around is this. Defensively, the Chiefs have been just so good on the back end, getting pressure, but just really like in coverage, they've been awesome. So I'm wondering, and listen, like if anyone can do it, it's the Niners, right? They're rough against the run, so you give the ball to Christian McCaffrey 20 times. That's kind of the way that you have to think about it, hoping for a higher scoring game. We had Evan Giddings on last night to talk about how he thinks the game script should go, and he thinks a higher scoring game favors the Niners. But listen, the way that the Bills did it, they could have won with a last, whoever gets possession last, if you trade blows. That's how you're going to have to do it, is 3 and outs. You're going to have to take advantage of every opportunity that you have. And you can't allow the Chiefs to run away with it. Like, you just can't do that. If they score first and Brock Purdy shook us at all, then in the first quarter, and I know he's come back before and that's his thing, but against the Chiefs, I think opponents in general, they almost like psych themselves out. People get almost scared by the myth and the lore of Patrick Mahomes, the Zebras, and Travis Kelce.
I mean, that's all completely fair, but with a lot of members, I mean, these two teams did play in the Super Bowl 4 years ago. And as someone who had to sit through a rewatch with two 49ers fans and Kyle Matson and Kenny Caraway on Friday, they'll all point to the Jimmy Garoppolo 3rd and 10 play. They'll all point to the fact that it seemed like the 49ers had them. And the reason that they didn't is because they gave them an opening. If I'm the 49ers, if I'm like the Nick Bosas, the Trent Williams, perhaps most importantly, the Kyle Shanahans, I could instill a decent amount of confidence into this team going, yeah, this team is really good against everybody else. But we've got a couple of difference makers on our team who could change the outcome of the last time we were here.
1,000%. I think the Chiefs are vulnerable for like 3 quarters and change. And then something always seems to happen. You always feel like you're right there. Maybe you're the better team. Maybe you had them. And then there's like one play. There's one drive where something fluky happens. You've made a mental error. A ref, a call goes against you. Something suspect happens, and the Chiefs find a way to take that and use it and get a win inexplicably. That's what I think is like their greatest attribute, is that they shouldn't win a lot of these games and they still find a way to, which is, I think, if you're the other team or the other team's fans, is the most frustrating thing of all.
I'm going 49ers and Christian McCaffrey. 49ers winning. Christian McCaffrey's the MVP. That's how I think they do it.
Christian McCaffrey, you know what you should do is if Christian McCaffrey becomes the MVP, he's probably scoring 3 times. It's 9-1 for him to score 3 times. It's 4-1 for him to be the MVP. So you might as well bet on him to score thrice.
Okay. I won't bet, but like I get
I know you don't bet, but if I am on the show for betting.
Oh, that's a news flash to a lot of people.
Well, I am inside. How's the Chatty House doing? What are we up to?
Chatty House is vibing. Yeah, Chatty House is up. We kicking it. Whenever Casey's not here, we just kind of ride together and we just talk. We talked about this earlier. We're not media. We're just vibes. We just kick it. And that's all.
The thing I love about you guys is that, and I really struggle with this. We're gonna have a little confession time. I actually think I'm a better host when I'm a guest. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like, I think
you're more comfortable steering a conversation
when I'm not actually in charge of steering it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are incredible at letting me do that, but also doing it yourself and having this flow. When I have to steer and I'm like the one hosting an interview, there's just so much going through my brain that it can get a little more like question, answer. So I'm like, in 2024, 2025, I strive to be y'all. I really do.
Rule number 1 to be D'Lo and Casey is just vibe. And rule number 2 is remember that this isn't 1990s radio. Like, no one is like, people got the result of the game. People saw the box score. It got pushed to their phone the second the buzzer went off. Nobody cares about that. They here for the conversation. They here for the talking points. They're here to see the guy in the or at least those on the stream are here to see the guy in the Cowboys outfit with the husky in the Cowboys walker. Like that's just part of like this business is so personality driven, and
Thank
if
God for that, folks, because I don't know if I'd survive otherwise. Like, I'm not sure.
what do you mean? What
If
you
it
could
wasn't a
be,
personality-based business and we had to be buttoned up, I talked about Steph
but you're
Curry foot
super
fetishes
smart
today.
though. Well, that I okay.
They
I
asked
don't know
me
how that
on
happened.
Memphis. They asked me on Memphis radio if Steph would throw the 3-point contest so that Sabrina could win it. And I said, no, not this year. I don't think he can do that. He's been already been put in a limelight of a submissive role, given the fact that Aisha went on national morning TV and said that he asks her for foot pics and that he's got a foot fetish. No one asked for it. I guess like Chatty House probably didn't know they wanted it now. They probably still don't. And I said, if a man is looking for feet photos, there's something inside him that there's a power dynamic there. And I don't think outside of the whatever, he's going to want to secede power to Sabrina Ionescu in the 3-point. All of that to say, if I wasn't allowed to do that, I'd be fired. I'd be fired.
No,
I can't stop
good.
it. I can't not do it.
Good for you, because I probably just would have said, yeah, there's no way he's gonna let a Nike athlete beat him. But you went a different direction. We choose different paths in getting the same point across. But that's fine.
Yeah, that's what makes it beautiful. Your mind goes one way, my mind goes another, and we're like, wow, that was actually an interesting thought that I hadn't considered yet.
See, but where I think you're very wrong about what you offer is you're really, really sharp. When you get past like the personality stuff and the fun stuff and the foot fetishes or the pause jokes and all of that, when it comes to just the game of basketball or the game of football, like you're as smart as they come. If you had to be, you could, but that wouldn't be Trysta Krick. That would be corporate Trysta, which we experienced once and never experienced it again.
We realize we can't do this show from the office because it's just something about the air in there where it's
yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, see,
that's right. It's like 1930s gangster radio. That's what it is right there. We're 2 days away from the trade deadline. Are you hearing anything at all?
Well, I had Jake Fisher on Saturday for the Monday episode. I don't know if you listened to it, but it feels like it's going to be a very dead deadline. Not a lot. I think the buyers are frustrated. Sellers, there's limited amounts of them with, quality players. So they're going to try to squeeze buyers for more value than these players are really even worth. And then buyers will say, you know what, maybe I'm good. And then you guys can sit with your toxic assets. You can chill with D'Angelo Russell. You can have DeJounte. And I like DeJounte a lot. He balled the other night, like really played well. And that team is really fun when they're clicking. But I don't need to give you 2 young players and 2 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. I don't need to do that. I can just wait for the summer. Our season's probably over anyway. We were making a marginal move to try to make our fan base excited for the last third of the season. So, no, I mean, you'll probably get the guys on expirings moved, right? You'll probably get like the Kelly Olynyk's. They'll go. Guys that are at the peak of their value might go, like a Colin Sexton I can see getting moved. I talked to Tony Jones about that. He thinks that's a possibility. So I see that happening. But in terms of like, I can't believe that they traded Klay Thompson. Like, no chance. Absolutely no way. I don't think Andrew Wiggins gets moved. I don't think Kuminga gets moved. I don't think, and we talked about this many times before, I don't think the Kings do a thing at all. Because, like, what are you getting back? What are you doing to make the move? And then how much better does it really make you? Is there any difference makers there? I don't think so. You've got all the difference makers have already been moved. Dame Lillard, moved. James Harden, moved. Terry Rozier, lesser so, moved. So those guys.
The Toronto guys too, like those deals.
OG, Pascal, moved. You're right. So the 4 or 5 guys that we really thought could be moved right now. Like if we were waiting on James Harden to be traded right now, that would be huge. That would be a huge development, even though we knew it was Clippers. If we were waiting for Dame to be traded to the Heat right now, we would be a buzz, as they say. But I think kind of all of the air has been taken out. because no marquee players are forcing their way out.
Yeah, with the Warriors, you mentioned Wiggins, Clay, all of that. Do you buy? We were having this conversation right before you joined us. Do you buy the Warriors at all improving 3 or 4 games and getting to maybe the upper part of that play-in, maybe in the 8 or 9 range? Or are you out on them?
Anything is possible, and when they play really well, when you see those flashes, you see what they can be when Kuminga is really, really clicking, right? When he's got 23, 24 points, athletically looks like he's hard to defend. You know, when Steph hits 10 threes, they're going to win games when Steph hits 10 threes. But there's also a lot of games where Steph goes, you know,
Or not.
yeah,
I think
3
I
for
think he just
17.
scored 60 and they lost.
Tough. It's a tough situation for
That's
Steph
tough.
right now.
That's
You know,
wild,
you
yeah.
just got to rely on those feet picks. And so you get you through the night, you know, cold nights on the road. So no, I don't buy it, but I don't sell on it either, right? If you told me the 8 seed, I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't believe that happened, but I'm not banking on it either. And then the question really is, what happens in the offseason when Steve Kerr is going to want $15 million because all the other scrubs have gotten $15 million? So why not me and my 4 championships, plus the ones as a player? If you're not giving me my bread, I'll just go ahead and go home. And then if you're the Warriors and you don't have the continuity of a head coach that's been there through the entire reign, I mean, that you might as well pack it up into a suitcase. You're not having a first-time head coach or a new head coach, even a Kenny Atkinson. He's not taking over this team, even though he's kind of been. It feels like he's kind of been lying in the weeds as a succession plan. To me, why would he turn down those other jobs? No, Kenny Atkinson's not bringing the Warriors back to a place of dominance. To me, when the issue really is the age of the players, how much they've declined, the youth not really being able to be what they thought that they could be. The whole 2 timeline approach to me feels very flawed. And we've been saying that. They got 1 ring with the 2 timeline, so bad on me. But since then, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I mean, we leave the Warriors, but it really just depends on what direction. Are you willing to let Clay walk? Are you willing to get rid of Andrew Wiggins? Are you willing to buy completely into Jonathan Kuminga? And you talk about being a dominant team or being a championship caliber team. Those days for the Golden State Warriors are over. To me, it's really more about whether you could be a respectable play-in playoff franchise in Steph Curry's last 4 or 5 years or whatever he chooses to play. Because to me, you have the roster capable of doing that. But in your brain, probably because you still have Steph Curry, you still have those components that were a part of your old championships, you still think that's what you are. And you'd be better service letting those go.
The question to me, too, is in the quiet moments after the feet picks have already been received. And you're laying in your hotel room on the road, and you're staring at the wall and in the ceiling, and you know that it's over in Golden State in terms of like real contention. You know it, like in a quiet moment, you know it. Are you okay with that? Are you okay as Steph Curry with the continuity of being the best Warrior ever, what you've done, riding out in the city and competing for like an 8 seed? Are you okay with that for the rest of your career, knowing that that's the only thing you have is maybe a second round situation? And then if you're not okay with that, where do you go from there? Is there a place to go from there?
I wonder if Drake got feet picks.
For sure.
That's probably a different conversation. We haven't talked since Domas and De'Aaron didn't make the All-Star team. You
guys, I did try to tell you there were snubs coming.
Yeah, I don't think we thought it was both of them. We had prepared the whole day. It's going to be one of them. One of them is going to get shut out of this. We thought it was going to be Domas because they would just lean on De'Aaron being the star, the more popular player, the guy who gets a little bit more attention. I don't think there was a single scenario in the 3 days leading up to that reserve announcement that we thought neither one of them would make it.
Yeah, no, I didn't imagine that Karl Anthony Towns was going to get in. And you could say, well, they're number 1 in the West, number 2 in the West, depending on the day. You know, he's had a great year. But truthfully, without Rudy Gobert, if you're talking about two all-star players on this team, without Rudy Gobert, they're 7th seed.
Mm.
They just are. Sorry,
That's who I
6th
thought it
seed.
was going to be. Like
Yeah,
I thought Rudy might ultimately make it.
same. So I thought if there was a snub, it would be him. You know, obviously the Paul George we talked about and discussed, he did end up getting in. Anthony Davis. Like I don't think the Lakers should have gotten 2. But then you say, okay, well, who's having the better year realistically? Anthony Davis is having the best year, but you can't leave out LeBron. So that's just like a matter of logistics and brand and credibility than anything else, right? And the fans voted him in, so
LeBron,
can't really,
right.
can't really do anything about the fans voting him in. Ultimately, though, the thing that I didn't say on my video, but I want to say because I only had 1 minute and 30 seconds before Instagram cuts me off, is like, how dumb are these coaches? How effing stupid are these casuals that we call NBA coaches? I have less faith in them by the day. I want everyone to ask. If I was in my tomfoolery at the pressers, I would be asking Trysta Krick, Odyssey Sports, BetQL Network. Just wanted to know, did you vote for Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox for All-Star? And then let them say no. And then say why.
And
see what they say.
1,000%. Because our thing was, we think they'd lie.
Yeah. No, they're definitely all-stars.
And then
are they
by the
all-stars
time,
to you?
Yeah, and then by the time a month passes, you have like 16 coaches saying they voted for Tomas and De'Aaron.
It's like when I went to Michael Chase stand-up in the All-Star game in New Orleans, and he's like, raise your hand if you voted for Trump. And he's like, and no one raised their hand. He goes, that's statistically impossible. Like, this is, that's, in terms of how this thing shook out nationwide, that's impossible that you guys aren't lying.
That's amazing. I love Michael Che. That's fantastic. What are you doing tonight?
We're doing the show 4 to 8. Then I'm going to try to get dinner, maybe meet up with some folks, go out. My co-host, he's been in the poker room 2 nights straight. Saw the big boss, the big bad, like at 6:30 in the morning and 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
When that guy was waking up and he had not been to sleep yet. So we'll see if we can keep that train moving.
That's what's up. Well, we love you. Thanks for joining us from Vegas. We appreciate it. And we'll be following everything you're doing. And we'll connect next week.
Love y'all. Go Chiefs.
All right. Wow. She's doing it. That's incredible. Thanks, TK.